What is up, my homies? It's been a while. It's been a while since I could hold my head up high. It's been in the singing mood. I'm coming back from a pretty long trip. For those of you that don't know, I picked up a little side gig, and I actually really like it. While I'm building up my whatnot and stuff, and I have not been sourcing for whatnot, so I haven't run a show. I do have some stuff, but I've run, just got a little bit, tired of the live selling for just a minute or two. Trust me, I'll be back. Had a lot of messages from people asking me when my next show is going to be, so I'd like to hang out with y'all again. So look forward to that. Be looking for that. I'll try to announce it, promote it. But anyways, Uber Eats. So I just came back. It sent me on a long trip, but on the way back, I hit a good stop. So it's just kind of fun. Time flies. It's brainless work. It really doesn't take any talent. You got a good vehicle, and you have any sort of wits about you. No big deal. It's kind of fun. But I am headed back home. I do it typically. You can do it whenever you want, but in the evenings for a few hours, I just go out there, hit a few. It's ready, available cash. It's kind of my spending money. And while my eBay store is rocking and rolling. And like a lot of people this past week, particularly easy for me to say, yesterday and the day before or whatever, sales kind of tanked. I had a return, $158 return on a camera lens I sold. And I'm really interested to get this thing back because I don't believe the buyer. And look, maybe I overlooked something, but it said there was a chip on the lens. Prior to buying it, asked if there was any fungus chips or something else. Well, I took the pictures, I cleaned the lens, and here's a lesson for you. This is one of my mistakes. We'll add that into my mistake tree. I cleaned it. I wiped off the lenses, took pictures, and I went back to look after I got this return saying there's a chip in it, and he's got a real picture. You can't see the whole what am I trying to say? You can only see the glass top. Can't see the whole thing. And there's a little chip in the glass, and I'm like, if this dude swapped this out, it'll be really interesting. So anyways, I went back to look at my eBay pictures, the original posting. Well, I got a new phone, and the camera was on live, and I shot my pictures. Well, half of them are blurry as heck, because I moved, it was on live. Didn't double check them, just flying through, listing stuff. And I only have one good picture, but there's a tiny portion of the lens, the side with the chip on it, that you can't see. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to prove it to eBay. And again, maybe there was, but I really highly doubt it. And the suspicious questions before purchasing make me suspicious. There's a weird way to word things when you're buying something. Not could you send me a picture of the lenses, which would be the wise thing to do if you really wanted to look, or better pictures of the lenses. So I'm like, dude. So anyways, $158 hits. And then not having a lot of sales. But today it picked up. Went to the bins this morning with my mother and stepdad. They've been going. My mother's been reselling, getting after it. And interesting time. Almost saw a fight. Apparently a gentleman was pushing stuff on another gentleman. He didn't like it. So he called him an M stinker multiple times. Everybody stopped, stared, and then it calmed down. An elderly man and a younger guy. So it was interesting. Then we go outside, and I rode with my stepfather and mother, and they're in the van, and my mother wanted to go to the retail store. So we parked. My stepdad wanted to go back into the bins and look at something that he had in his hand. There was multiple. When we got in the car, found out they were worth more money, and he wanted to get the rest of them. So he goes. So we're sitting there, and we're off. Like, people parking there could back out, but there's just one lane behind those cars between us and those parked cars. Well, my mother comes back in the car, and we're just sitting there waiting on my stepdad, and a car pulled up beside us and parked to drop someone off or to run into the Goodwill, the retail store. Well, a car pulled up behind them while they were there. So the guy comes back out of the Goodwill, gets in his car, starts pulling off. Well, the car that was waiting pulls up beside us, and a woman sticks her head out. And mind you, I'm in the back seat of this Honda van, and they got one of those, those screens, the windows down, but the little shade screens up. So it's like, looks like I'm talking from the back of a police car. And she goes, "Do you know y'all are blocking traffic?" And typically me, I'm kind of a smart aleck. I was like, all right, be respectful, respect your elders and all that jazz. So I said, yes, we do. Because, she's looking at my mom. She doesn't really see me until I speak. And she goes, "Why would you do that?" And mind you, we weren't blocking her path. The car in front of her was. But I guess technically, if that car wasn't there, she could have went around where we were parked. So that kind of stuff flies all over me, but I can be respectful for a second. So she goes, "Why would you do that?" And I just so calmly said, "Because we wanted to ruin your day." Just like that. And she goes, "Well, you're a crappy person." But she said the S word. And I said, "Thank you." And she drove off angry. So that was our little bin adventure. Kind of funny. It never ceases to amaze me, but the irony of her saying we're terrible people was kind of funny. But anyways, I got over that quickly, but found some good things. Overall, not the greatest day there. I mean, I didn't find anything spectacular. I did find a sealed Guitar Heroes Monsters of Rock. That's not a massive game. I think it's between $16 and $23, something like that. But it was sealed. That was interesting. Lots of cases for games, but not much. Did find a few books, lots of clothes. It's pretty typical. But eBay sales event last week was really good. I had a good week last week, and I have not been listing. I was ending and relisting some of my older stuff, trying to fix some pictures. I'm going to spend the rest of this week really working on that stuff. I still have a lot of stuff that's got bad pictures I need to redo. None of my electronics have been moving. DVD players, VCR, DVD combos, and I'm questioning my picture taking and my titles, so I'm going to go back into those. I have noticed my lighting sucks. I bought some new photo lights, and they had 3 levels of brightness, and one of the lights, it doesn't work on the highest setting, so my lighting's horrible for pictures. So I really need to fix my photo area up a little better, get my lighting fixed, because my pictures are really, really bad. So that's one of the reasons. But outside of that, staying active and listing, my eBay store has been doing good. I've topped my 90-day totals, and I'm happy about that, going towards my goal. Like I said, by the end of the fourth quarter, I want to have mine in the $20,000 range, and I think that's very doable. But I've got to get serious about some stuff. But anyways, the side gigging this past weekend, I took a few videos, but I didn't have time. I drove around Nashville. My wife was there for a coaches conference, so I dropped her off at the gym. I stayed for one session, but like I said, I already know it all in basketball. For those of you that know, you know. Yeah, I'm a know-it-all in that for sure. So don't like to sit there. It reminds me of class. I don't learn that way, just lecture style. I need to see it. This scares me right here. Oop, a little blind curve. But anyhow, so I went out cruising downtown Nashville, delivering Uber Eats, and it was funny. It wasn't as good. Now, the area is so busy. I mean, you could do it all day, every day. But I think it's so saturated, and some of these orders are so small that I only average like $17 an hour for the time I did it. I think I did for a total in the few days we were there for like 7 hours. I'd do a few hours here and there while she was there, and then go pick her up, and we'd hang out. And one morning I went out there, and that was fun. I did a short video on that. Just was very pleasant. The morning was perfect, a little crisp, probably high 50s, and downtown it wasn't busy yet. It's 6:37 in the morning. That was kind of nice for a little bit, but wound up having to drive all over. When I got outside of town, they were good deliveries, even though I was driving a lot. In town, you're delivering Starbucks. Some people were gracious with their tips, some weren't. I made a post on Facebook. It's kind of funny because my daughters worked at Cheddar's in the service industry, the to-go, and they'd mention how they'd see some people they knew and that aren't struggling by any means, and they wouldn't tip, or they tip $1 on $100, and it flew all over me because I've been in the service industry the majority of my life, one way or the other. I waited tables when I was younger, and as far as tipping goes, it kind of caught me the other night. I delivered some Logans to somebody and get $1 tip, and I know it's easy for them, but I just thought, now look, I don't tip at Starbucks at drive-thru. I don't think you're providing a service, grabbing a coffee and handing it to me. You didn't provide a service. I mean, I could get that from a kiosk. So I don't do that. So I'm not this staunch, just give your money. And especially nowadays, the service you get is horrendous. Most of the time you got some kid who's not being managed properly and they got a terrible attitude. Hey, tip accordingly. But I'm naturally a higher tipper. So it's just weird to me if the people like getting grocery pickup and not tip or tip $1. It's just kind of funny. But to each their own. That's a rant for another day. And I will be making some videos on this delivery because I believe I'm going to do it for a while. Probably always. I can do it anywhere in the country. All that jazz. There's a lot to say about it, but it's fun. It's quick money. So it's kind of been my supplement instead of live selling. It's not quite as lucrative. Well, sometimes it is. Like, I guess I'm saying it definitely can be. Supplement that. But I had some live selling weeks, $1,000 weeks and more. And that'd be hard to do doing this unless you did it all day, every day. But for those of you looking for something, a side gig to get, man, it's a great little side gig. You can definitely make $200 a day if you wanted to. And if you're smart, if you did that 5 days a week, $200 a day, that's $50,000 a year. If you can get $200, $1,000 a week, $52,000 a year. And obviously, if you went out and made $100, you can see the deal. So anyway, getting back to reselling, I went to a yard sale this weekend. I got accused of stealing from an old man. I picked up some. He had loose hot sauce bottles, and I bought 2. Gave him $2, and and it was kind of funny. I went and got a book. It's 50 cents. I went to my truck, come back, and hold on. Oops. And I grabbed the book. Sorry, I'm back. That was a bad edit on this video. I grabbed the book for 50 cents. I didn't have 50 cents. There's nothing else, not another book I wanted. So I go to my truck, come back, and he goes, "Did you pay for that other stuff?" And that'd have been fine. That happens, And I said, "Yeah, remember I gave you the $2 for the hot sauce." He kind of looked down and he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You didn't get another book?" And that kind of flew over me. I'm like, all right. It's one thing to be like, "Hey, did you pay for that?" Hey, nothing wrong with that question. I've done it. And I've also been the person that's not paid and forgot about it. But when he said that again, like he didn't believe me even after he realized I did give him that money. I said, "Sir, I wouldn't steal for anything." He kind of looked like, okay, and I left there. So, been an interesting few days. So, not a ton of sourcing outside of that. I'm still listing. Got sidetracked going to Nashville this weekend, but overall, it's been great. I'm going to cut this video short because I have responsibilities. This food ain't going to get there itself. But yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm proud of it. You should be too. Always hustle. Don't be ashamed of anything you do, man. It's your responsibility to provide for your family any way possible. And right now, this is what I'm doing. It's not something, I've got skills, folks, but I love this. This is relaxing and easy. So with that being said, catch me on the next video. Stay positive, stay picking, stay rad. Hey, and call Uber Eats.